All right, we should be up and running now. What's up, everybody? Hopefully your Saturday's off to a lovely start and your Friday night was absolutely fantastic. If it wasn't, and it hasn't been so far, there's no time like the present to turn it around. Let's get some good money in tonight and be having ourselves a profitable DFS evening, rolling into week 10 of the NFL tomorrow, and then hopefully we can increase the profit train coming. Click that thumbs up button, subscribe to the website link below if you want a membership for all the member-only videos and everything like that. And as far as like memberships go, most of you guys know this, but we got weekly, monthly, annual, yearly, all that stuff is out there for you. Lifetime, blah, blah, blah. First guy I want to talk about today is going to be Kyle Kuzma. So the big thing right here is I like this Washington-Orlando game to be competitive. We got a Washington team with no Bradley Beal tonight. So those opens up a lot of usage, a lot of shots for other guys, specifically a guy like Kyle Kuzma, who would be in play even if Beal was playing. He just becomes a much better play when he has to have a little bit more of the offensive burden on his shoulder. He will definitely make my cash game roster as of right now. And he's a guy I absolutely wouldn't mind running in any format right here. It's a little early in the day, so I don't have ownership percentages yet, but I'm going to anticipate him being relatively popular. I think the Wizards will get loved tonight in this matchup, and they should get loved tonight in this matchup without their best player, Bradley Beal, around. And Kyle Kuzma is one of the guys very much on the short list this evening. Next up, let's talk about the Boston Celtics. So one of the guys that was in the write-up last night was Josh Richardson. We preferred him over Tony Bradley for cap space, and he wasn't great. I watched a lot of the Bucks, Boston game, and it's looked off last night. Still found a way to roll into 20 DK points. Wasn't good, but we know he can play better than that. So he's also in a decent spot tonight against the Cleveland Cavaliers. There's still no Jaylen Brown, and knowing that they had to play everybody last night, pretty big minutes, Schroeder, Tatum, and stuff like that, I think the potential here for him to play another 30-minute game is absolutely on board. He's only 3,300. He doesn't need to do a ton at this price tag to get value. He's an okay offensive player. Maybe that's a stretch, but he can shoot the three a little bit, so he gets a couple of those per game. Decent with the steals, should run into a couple of rebounds and assists. And at 3,300 with availability at the 2 and the 3, I think he's kind of just a filler piece that you can use anywhere. But we saw him the 2 games prior to this with nice upside and still continues to fly a little bit under the radar. Maybe not as much tonight because it's a shorter slate, but take a look at Josh Richardson, guys, in a game where maybe the Celtics don't force their bigger players to play bigger minutes. I'm not saying that they'll not try to win the game. I just mean if they have an opportunity to get Tatum a blow, I'm sure they'll try to do that. All right, next up, today's cover boy, Wendell Carter Jr. So a lot of this comes down to the fact that I anticipate this game being competitive. Now, it's the modern NBA. With three-point shooting run rampant, we know how these games can go. There can be major discrepancies one way or the other. I anticipate it being a close game. Doesn't make it so. It's just how I view this game breaking down. Wendell Carter Jr. has been very good in most close games. This is a guy with 37 DK points in 5 of his last 8. He's averaging a double-double. He's in a pretty good spot against the Wizards. I like him in any format right here. If you don't think the game is close, well, then I would abandon this play. This is one of the guys that they don't force for bigger minutes in games that are less competitive. But he's shooting the 3-ball decently this year. He's rebounding well. He's more needed on this team than he ever has been for any other team he's played on, specifically with the Bulls. So he gets really nice run. He's averaging 33 DK points per game, and I think this is a good spot against the Wizards. Maybe not as good as it has been in years past, but still a pretty good spot. Next up, let's talk about Steven Adams. So I want to be very clear with this one. This is GPP only, and this is what I would actually deem as an actual long shot. The reason that Steven Adams falls under the long shot category is Memphis seems to have a wide variety of outcomes in their games. And when they get down in games and when they don't think the matchup works out for them, Steven Adams has a tendency to be one of the first guys losing run. They start playing smaller. They'll run Jaren Jackson at the 5. Brandon Clark gets his minutes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. However, if you think this game is competitive throughout, and I don't see any reason it couldn't be competitive throughout, what you have here is a really difficult matchup because of Jonas Valanciunas on the New Orleans Pelicans now, which means they're going to need some big, beefy size like Steven Adams. Jaren Jackson Jr. just not big enough to guard him. Valanciunas plays bigger minutes. So matchup-wise, I could see Adams playing upwards of 30 minutes tonight, which is never a guarantee for a guy like him. And if you tell me Steven Adams is playing 30 minutes, I like him at 4,600, running into rebounds, potentially, double-double watch with, 12 and 11 or something like that. He's had some upside games already this year. Now, is he a lock? Not even close, and that's why he's under the actual long shot category. Next up, let's talk about another center I like a lot, a little bit more expensive, but if I were to pick one of these guys, I mean, Zubac to me is playable in any format. So this is also a lot of the same type of theory for why I like Adams. Like Zubac is not always a guarantee to play 30 plus minutes, but they played the Timberwolves like a week and a half ago, whatever it was. They played them twice. He played 31 and 34 minutes in those games because Serge Ibaka has been out forever. They're not giving him much in the way of minutes. And you need size against Karl Anthony Towns. So Zubac tends to play bigger minutes. He only played great in one of those two games, but he did have a 36.5 DK point game in Minnesota. Now they're at home tonight. I think the upside exists here. You might have a tired Wolves team after last night. I like Zubac quite a bit. I would run him in any format today and feel very comfortable with it. I've been watching the Clippers a little bit lately. I've been impressed with his play. And this is a guy that he walks into DFS points pretty quickly when given ample opportunities. So give me some Zubac in my life, any format. And that about wraps it up for the day, guys. For all paying customers, we're going to roll members only in the afternoon so we get a little better idea about who's in and who's out today and stuff like that. But I wish you all the best of luck. Have a wonderful Saturday and have a great NFL Sunday tomorrow.